Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Simplified, a show that explains intense topic from around the world and simplifies it for you so that you can appear cooler in front of your friends.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome everyone. This is the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and joining me in the studio is Kevin, and Chiranjit is joining us via Skype. Now, well, every day we come up with something or the other because some developments or the other keep happening. It's not development, it's that new stuff keeps coming out in the open. And this time the new stuff is that Mohun Bagan has revealed, AIFF's proposed new roadmap for I-League and ISL. Now it's a letter that they've sent out, the letter where Mohun Bagan's officials have sent to AIFF, and then the reply, all of that. Now Chiranjit, let's begin with you. Why don't you give us a gist of what exactly this letter says?
Well, you can read the entire letter and its reply from AIFF on the fangarage.com. So what had happened is that on 6th May, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan officials met Praful Patel in Mumbai to discuss the roadmap for Indian football. And after that, we started hearing that there won't be any merger this year between I-League and ISL. And there will be a Super Cup there was confusion over who will get an ACL spot. So we discussed all about that on the episode following that event, right? And what had happened over there was that Praful Patel made some promises and assurances, before going to the AFC Conference or Congress in Bahrain. Yeah. So what Mohun Bagan have done is that they have revealed every single promise or detail that was touched upon in the meeting and made AIFF reply to it, and then made it public so that everybody knows what's the score. And we have seen some confusing statements being thrown about as well, because look, the Super Cup apparently wasn't even mentioned in the meeting. Because the Mohun Bagan letter does not even mention any possibility of Super Cup. In fact, when Praful Patel said that, let's run I-League and ISL in parallel, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan officials made a counter proposal that let's give a 4-month window to each tournament for this season. 4 months ISL, 4 months I-League. If they want to add a couple of franchises, that's up to them. ISL. So if that's how it happens, I don't know how they won't have an 8-month season. That's a problem with that this year, because of the Under-17 World Cup. We will have before November, nothing can start in the national level. Right. So if that is the case, then there won't be 8 months, but that is something they will have to sort out. But basically, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan have opposed a parallel ISL and I-League, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other clubs will have something to say about that. So if they don't run the two leagues parallelly, you cannot have a Super Cup. And so all those things, are slight changes in details from what we heard previously, what went down in the meeting, have been revealed in the letter. So the idea is to make sure that Praful Patel sticks to this tune and does not just say one thing to the clubs and then say something else to the AFC. They have the point was to get AIFF right back to this letter and not dispute any of the details mentioned in the letter, which Kushal Das did on AIFF's part. He wrote them back and he did not question any of the details mentioned in the letter. So that appears to be a tacit validation of that letter. AIFF is not saying, no, he did not say any of that. So they are simply trying to use this as a way to hold their feet to the fire.
I think this is a very smart move done by Mohun Bagan. It suddenly feels that Mohun Bagan just along with all the sides, along on the side of all the clubs, and they're speaking on behalf of everyone. He's just made it clear that what they want is also what all the clubs would want to have. It's if you just go through each point, you can just have a look at the letter that's there on the website. It just says that if these points are agreed, and that's what Mohun Bagan is intending to do, that putting AIFF in the spotlight, that everything has been put in front of in the entire country, and you cannot step back now. That's already there.
Yeah.
And it's like an ideal situation for everyone. ISL goes on, I-League goes on. You have the reputed name given to the I-League, and that's the official league. And your players are also free. You play in one tournament, after that there's another tournament, and there's a bigger pool of players for everyone to choose from. Because this increases your there was a point made about the broadcasting quality that's going down for I-League. It has to come at par with the ISL. We know when we watch an ISL match on TV, it's as good as any other European match that we watch. But when you look at I-League, it's just complaint after complaint that we can just talk about all day. If that levels up at the level of I-League, at the level of ISL, it's a pleasure to watch. Just look at Federation Cup quality. It's much more better than the I-League that we given to watch. So it's like an ideal situation for all ISL clubs, ISL teams, and I-League clubs.
Now, Chanjit, both.
But one problem with that is that it's good for I-League clubs. Nobody gets forcefully relegated. Everybody gets to keep their top division status. They can fight for a place in Asia. And it's good for ISL franchises. They don't have to do anything. They remain where they are, and they get to choose whatever player and have their nice short season. The problem this puts is on the national team and Indian football, because the players will be overworked again. They will be playing too many matches. There will be, there may be during ISL less international breaks and less time for the Indian national team to prepare for every match. We will not be able to play as many friendlies if we have a season like this. Those problems which have already plagued Indian football will continue. Now, this AIFF wants to solve by saying ISL and I-League will run in parallel. But as we know that, so many of the promises made by AIFF, IMG Reliance to I-League has turned out to be false. Are you going to believe now that if ISL and I-League are running side by side, both will get equal amount of promotion and telecast quality? I don't believe that for a second. If they are running, especially if they're running side by side, obviously ISL will get more mileage. It's a well-known fact. I think one of the East Bengal officials was saying that promotion and production and promotion budget of ISL is more than 300 crores a season. Out of which maybe like 1/6 or 1/8 of that money goes into actually production, which is like shooting and putting the entire thing up into the satellite. And the rest is also promotion, because they are advertising it constantly. You know how much is spent on I-League for production and promotion? 20 crores maximum. This is what that East Bengal official said. So out of that 20 crore, I'm pretty sure 18-19 crore is gone towards that production, moving cameras around all over the countries, producing that broadcast, arranging for that satellite signal. All of that money goes into that. There is no promotion at all. Are you telling me that just because they have made one assurance from Praful Patel that has come in this one meeting, that they will just suddenly change everything and become fair towards I-League? I don't really think that's going to happen. And if there is a parallel league, then there is also the question of where the players will go, right? So the players may either go towards ISL because they are paying more money, and then what happens to the I-League clubs? Many of the I-League clubs will lose their strength. And remember, these are the clubs that are going to play in Asia. If they are put in a position where there is a rival league taking away at least some of their best players, then India's performance goes down in the Asian level. So all these are problems that still need to be chalked out. As I said, Super Cup is a very sketchy idea. I think even Kevin was talking about it in that episode, that how can you just just take one tournament and another league winners and put them in one tournament and say, okay, this gets a Asia spot, whoever wins this. It's very sketchy. Let's just see how that turns out.
Yeah, I think we'll all have to wait. Do you see still more clarity coming from AIFF side come June?
No, there is clarity coming from AFC side. Now, this is the update to the situation which came around last evening. So what happens is that Praful Patel went to AFC and said, apparently he talked about a Super Cup and the Super Cup winner getting ACL, and AFC said, are you mad? As I said, they would say.
Of course.
So there is no way a Super Cup winner is getting ACL. This is coming from some talks that Kushal Das and some other AIFF official had with the Bengali newspaper Pratidin. So they are saying that ACL spot cannot go to a cup competition. It will stay with the I-League. Now they're trying to work out if there is an AFC Cup spot that can be given to Super Cup.
How?
And this is something we predicted.
No chance that will happen, because even if you give an AFC Cup spot to some club, that club must have played the top division, and there cannot be two top divisions in the country. That is no way going to happen.
There cannot be two top divisions. No. If there's a loophole there. Let's say if a Federation Cup has first and second division teams, or somebody else participating in it, then a second division team or a third division team may just by footballing merit beat everybody else and win a cup. Then that if they just fulfill the criteria, then they can play in AFC Cup. There is no stopping that. But in order to make that happen, the problem is that there can be only one top division. And if you're taking ISL teams into a Premier Knockout Cup tournament called the Super Cup, then you have to tell us what is ISL. Because I-League is the top division. Then is ISL the second division or the third division? Because if ISL is the second division, then I-League's bottom team should be relegated to ISL. Okay.
Yeah.
If I-League का जो bottom team is getting relegated to second division league, then is ISL the third division? Because they have to be made clear that yes, ISL is a part of that divisional structure. It cannot exist outside that structure. That's the problem they are facing with AFC right now. You cannot just have a parallel league. Right,
So,
AFC cannot recognize a parallel league.
Yeah.
So that's where the problem lies.
So when can we understand an ultimatum to this? Will there be a closure?
Well, the date is 25th May.
Okay.
So apparently AFC has told AIFF that the final decision will be done by AIFF around 25th May. So they have given a deadline maybe a week before that, when AIFF will have to submit a final proposal to AFC that this is how we want to restructure or not restructure right now and delay restructuring or whatever it is, or just make some little tweaks.
Okay.
So that will be finally deliberated upon for the last few days of that week, and the decision should be out by 25th May. Now, here's the thing. AIFF will have to decide by themselves if a Super Cup idea will fly. Okay. Or if a two parallel tournaments can be sustained, or they can somehow show it's legal and make it pass the test. It's very tough to do, but IMG Reliance has long arms, so who knows what will happen. But they will try to do it. It seems like it now. But if they somehow don't do it, if they somehow fail to get a final approval from AFC on that, that means ISL's plans to expand and add new franchises goes for a toss. Because then you are returning to the status quo. You'll have to hold ISL, I-League, and maybe even Federation Cup, where ISL teams will not be able to participate, and the season is too short for that. So you can't add any more teams. You will have to have a short ISL and give that room to I-League.
Yeah, Kevin, you want to make a point?
Siju, I was just, at one point of time, I was very happy that Mohun Bagan is speaking for all the I-League clubs in India. But it also reminds me of something. that there is this structural change for Indian football being talked about, and it's being discussed between the AIFF, Mohun Bagan, and East Bengal. Why?
Yeah.
Why are there not any other clubs being taken into the talks? Why is the entire structural change being discussed with two clubs? Okay, you have the biggest history of Indian football, but even the smallest, in even the latest club who is the reigning champions must be included, and even those clubs who intend to be part of the topmost league in the world must be taken into consideration. It's not right that two clubs decide the future of Indian football along with the AFF. It's totally wrong in their part.
Kevin, this is where you're getting it wrong. Originally the meeting was planned to discuss East Bengal and Mohun Bagan's contract to get into ISL. Okay. That's what was up for discussion. They were saying we won't pay franchisee fee, let's waive that, or this and that. Let us have a small budget team for ISL. That's what they went to AIFF with, and that's where they went. And then Praful Patel said, "Okay, that's not happening. This is probably what is happening." So then they tried to speak on the spot of what they thought would be best for I-League itself. So it's not like AIFF picked East Bengal and Mohun Bagan to speak for all I-League clubs, or East Bengal and Mohun Bagan took it upon themselves to speak for everybody. They just were in the room at the same time, so they tried to speak for everybody else. And I think it will be more than a happier development if everybody, all the I-League clubs get together and make a joint proposal to AIFF on how best to take the league forward.
Right.
Yeah. Now, as we said, 25th May is what the date has been given. So we'll get you, as always we do, we will get you all the updates to whatever happens in this roadmap that's been in talks since, I don't know, forever right now. But let's move ahead as we talk about the Federation Cup.
One final detail that should be mentioned before we move on to Federation Cup. Praful Patel has also made an assurance that the merger of I-League and ISL will be complete by 2020. Okay, that is what the letter claims.
Yeah.
So we were making that, discussing that rumor that the franchisee contracts are actually 6 years and not 10 years. I think this validates that.
Okay.
Because 2019 will be then the last season of ISL, and 2020-21 onwards, they can just all become proper clubs. Without any exclusivity clause, without any thing going by franchisee fees. They can just have a proper merger of the entire ISL and entire I-League, and we can have a robust league with promotion and relegation. No restriction, a real league, a real competition with all the best teams of the country. Nothing standing between them. And maybe, if we get that by 2020, we should consider ourselves lucky, considering how messed up the situation has been over the last few months.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's now move on to the Federation Cup. Now, there were two matches that were played yesterday. First of all, we'll talk about the East Bengal versus Chennai City. Birthday boy Robin Singh really had a happy birthday because his brace is what helped East Bengal, get their first win, because the first match against Russell was a 1-1 draw. Now, this also means that Chennai City are out of the contention for the semi-final spot of the Fed Cup. But nonetheless, this was on the cards, but they did put up a fight. Now, let's begin with Kevin. You watched the match and Robin Singh was really on par. Huh? When I was looking at the lineup, I saw everyone. There was Buchanan, there was Wedson, there was Plaza, and then it was coming down, there's Robin Singh as well. And wow, that's I think it was a planned strategy that today's his birthday, you have to perform, go out there, that's your gift. You start, you're in the playing 11.
The goal that started off this devastation for Chennai, schoolboy error from Ravanan.
Yes.
Not really expected when you're standing yards from Plaza. All players on the field, he's standing in front of Plaza and tries to clear the ball on his leg. What are you going to get? That's what you get hit for.
Yeah.
Karanjit, he was excellent yesterday.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Karanjit, I'm telling you,
there would be more goals.
It would have been 4 or 5 easily. Yeah. He was outstanding. It really defeats him having in such a good team, and his value is not there because the team is not really performing to match up to his performances. So that goal was actually what brought East Bengal into the game. Apart from that, Karanji had kept both Plaza and Robin Singh out of his box. Excellent game. Second goal was a penalty.
Yeah.
Again, penalty. It was a game. It was a day of penalties. 3 penalties
Yeah,
yesterday.
I don't know. Fed Cup should be this should be a made count made. How many numbers of penalty has been given over here?
But
it's crazy.
Talking about penalties and decisions that change the game, Mehtab Hussain, he was up to his game.
Yeah.
Truly showing his character. There was an incident where he was already on the yellow card.
Yeah.
And he was not given for the second time.
Yeah. He just got saved.
Yeah, that could have changed the game for Chennai, because that was clearly a rash foul that he had committed, and I thought that was a second yellow surely.
Yeah.
But it did not happen. Anyway, it was looking like East Bengal's game for that day.
And also one thing, very funny thing, Chiranjit, if you remember, probably you'll agree with me on this. Robin Singh always manages to stay behind the ball. He always just finds the ball. Errors ho, kuch bhi ho, he just finds the ball. The ball, some mistake happens, the ball goes onto his feet and he just has to tap it in.
That's what a striker job is.
Yeah. I mean,
that goal is scored for Delhi Dynamo.
Yeah. We'll never forget that. That's what I told.
That is the definition of Robin Singh's career.
Against Mumbai City, yeah. I mean, crazy stuff. But good for him, it's kudos.
Roberto Carlos went on to apologize to Anil.
Yeah. Sorry to steal it. Yeah. I mean, but on the other side, on the other note, I think this is really good for East Bengal. I mean, they are finally showing, after they're putting behind all those bad things that were happening, and finally showing that the team performance is what matters and on the field. So probably, the mentally whatever they were going on was taken off, and they are finally regrouping themselves to, put the best 90 minutes of their life on the field, which is really good. I think now the fans should, probably get back and support them. You never know. It's still not out. They're still fighting. As we said in this group, it's Aizawl. It's between Aizawl and East Bengal, and that's exactly what's happening. Now, moving ahead, talking about Aizawl. Aizawl has been on a crazy ride. They've been having all tight matches. First match when they started against Chennai, we thought they would just take it away, but 3-2 they had to fight for it. Even here they had to fight for it, and here also there was a penalty.
Churchill brothers played. Churchill brothers did all the work.
They did everything right. But
Aizawl got that goal. That's the difference. That's the difference.
This is champions luck. This is what champions luck looks like, literally.
Yeah, I would totally agree on that point. Luck was there, and Churchill, you cannot find fault in this team's performance yesterday. They did everything that they could, but the ball wouldn't just go in net. Lindo, he was all over, but then he did have an off day yesterday. Kroma, they had opened up the defense right in the opening minutes, but that ball from Brandon to Kroma, he had an open goal. He just couldn't tap it back inside. And there was an incident where Lindo was brought down. So it was 1-1 by that time. So that wasn't given as a penalty. It was a soft, had it been given. But again, it's all about decisions that go your way and what you can make of it. So Aizawl, they fought till the end. I was looking at Jayesh Rane. He plays in the midfield. And there was a counter-attack launched by Churchill. That was right after Churchill missed an opportunity. Rane was back in his own, close to his box, and he did that last man tackle. That is how a team fights, and that is what gets you trophies. They will never back down.
And that's what I think they got rewarded also. 90th minute goal to get them those 3 points instead of dropping points. If they had dropped points, probably they would have been level on par with East Bengal. But now they are comfortably sitting on top of the table with 2 matches, 2 wins in hand. Again,
and you know what this did? The biggest impact of this will be that they can take the last match against East Bengal with some rotation and some conservative spending of energy. All this talk we were having that they will be exhausted in this heat, they're not used to it, yada. Now they can give some of their main players enough of a rest before the semi-final.
And this match will be interesting.
Yeah, all that thing just went poof.
Yeah.
And now look at Churchill Brothers' position. They can still mathematically qualify for a semi-final spot, but they will have to, because their match against East Bengal was a draw. So they will have to somehow make their goal difference better. So
against
in the
Chennai,
last match they'll have to score Chennai they'll have to score like 5-6 goals and then hope that Aizawl FC beat East Bengal, which I don't see happening. Both East Bengal and Aizawl FC will want to secure their place in the semi-finals, and that's how the last game is going to go down. So I think this group is more or less done. You can say you got some surprise out of Aizawl FC's performance, but they deserved it after all that they've done. And East Bengal made a turnaround.
This also reminds me of the match where East Bengal dropped points the first time when they lost against Aizawl in Aizawl. So it will be interesting to see how this pans out. Now moving ahead, today we have another 2 games. Mainly the first one at 4 p.m. is DSK versus Bengaluru. The other one is Shillong versus Mohun Bagan. Let's talk about DSK Bengaluru. Do we even talk about this? Because
we can skip that.
Yeah, DSK is in shambles at the moment. So, and Bengaluru on the side are just being scoring. But they have to rectify on their mistakes that they did against Shillong. So I think Bengaluru will want to come out and you know how you say pass out with flying colours. They will have to do it here in DSK. I think that's about it we should talk about. I mean, let's see how that fits in well. Now, Shillong Mohun Bagan will be the game to watch for. We have both the parties sitting here, so I won't talk much. I will first give the mic to Shillong, I was supposed to say. Yes, to Shillong. It is Shillong.
Give the game to Shillong.
The mic is to Shillong because what I meant was to Kevin. Kevin, talk about this game, please.
Mohun Bagan cannot take this team lightly, and they've shown it in the past. Again, it's a chance for coming face to face with this young team against star players.
Yeah.
You can't even place them on team sheets. On paper, they are not even close to each other. But Shillong Lajong, what they get to the field, they are a total different team every time they step on. And this game, again, is a test for this young side. They've made it to the Federation Cup, their best ever finish in the I-League. It's a test for them to get past experienced players, and it gives them more exposure. It just increases the level of competition that they've faced in the entire one season, and it's going to help them in the coming years as well. I just hope they get a win today. If it's a narrow win, not a problem. It's going to go a long way for this young side.
Mohun Bagan, now it's your turn. Saranjit.
Yeah, well, this is the one game that can cause all the upsets. Okay, this is what it comes down to. Otherwise, this group will have a vanilla result in the end. So, Shillong Lajong will come all out because they have no way to sort of get into the semi-finals other than winning this. So, they will take the fight to Mohun Bagan from the get-go. They will try to outrun them and basically do all the things right that they could not do against Bengaluru FC. Now, what will be the major difference is that Mohun Bagan's midfield is still not that strong. Okay, so Shillong Lajong may take that part unless somehow they grow a pair and use some really strong defensive midfielder. Somehow somebody plays really well on this night. I see Shillong Lajong trying to maneuver the midfield and doing so pretty successfully and trying to get to Dipanda through those through balls, and maybe Mohun Bagan will again stick to their well-known and I won't say stale at this point, but everybody knows what they do. They will try to get through the wings and or play long balls. So everybody knows what Mohun Bagan is doing. That's one of my problems with Mohun Bagan right now. DSK Shivajins could not handle them. Does not mean Shillong Lajong will have the same effect. So it's gonna be a bit of a challenge for Mohun Bagan. Even Mohun Bagan will want to win this because nobody wants to keep the fight up till the last match. If they win this, they are in the semi-finals. So then, before the third match, Sanjay Sen can come and say, "Yeah, we will rest 10 players. We don't take this match seriously. We have other matches to care about." And then just play their reserve strength against Bengaluru FC and not care about what happens because they're already in the semi-finals. But to do that, they'll have to anyhow get that first goal and not get hit by that whatever a counter or a set piece, whatever that Shillong Ladong always do in important games to steal a point from Mohun Bagan. That is something they cannot afford, and there is no way they can let this match stay alive. So both teams will want to win, and I think Mohun Bagan will be the one under more pressure in this game.
Yeah, well, that's about it for today's show. And if you all that you need to know is up on our website, thefangers.com, especially the letter. You can read it out. Now also follow the TFG Football Twitter handle to keep yourself updated. You can also follow us because we update you with the matches while the matches are on 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. respectively. We're also on Twitter personally, Boz_Kevin, Chiranjit Oja, Suju Matthew 94, and anything that you want to know, you can ask us or whatever. You can also comment on our YouTube channel. Now like. Share, subscribe, and share as much as you can, and build in the conversation. We are loving it. It's good to be, it's also good to have you all part of the conversation. Now that's all, guys, and I hope you enjoy the show. You can also download the IVM podcast app on iOS and Android. Have a great day, enjoy the matches, and come back to us tomorrow. Cheers.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है, और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.